After a break for Royal Ascot last week, Happy Valley is back this Wednesday night with 9 more races coming up from the City Circuit. Welcome to Racing to Win. We're going to preview it for you all here on the show. It's a good meeting coming up too, and in the studio to look at a couple of the bigger races on the program. Paul Lally and Tom Wooden. Tom, what are some of the highlights?
I think really looking forward, Mark, to co-partner Prance going around on the program. He's won again last start. He's won 5 of his 9 starts this season. He's got 128 pounds compared to a Superb Capitalist who's got 132 pounds. So look, I think he can win again.
We'll hear from Zach Purton pretty soon about his thoughts on co-partner Prance and the potential to make it 6 in a row. Paul Lully's here too. Are there jackpots, Paul?
No, there aren't, Mark, actually. No jackpots there, but plenty of good betting opportunities throughout the card. Only some limited first starters. We'll save all those for the weekends. There's plenty coming up this weekend having their first start in Hong Kong, but only 2 or 3, I think, here in this meeting.
Yep, there is indeed. And as Paul said, lots coming up at Sha Tin after the Valley meeting. Speaking of Sha Tin, the twists and turns of the Trainers' Premiership continued on the weekend, Tom, with Pierre having a terrific day, winning treble, including Mugen and also Galaxy Patch, who was outstanding. That important 3 wins has now put him 2 in front of Francis Loy.
And how crucial could those wins be, Mark, that he racked up? He's had a really good last sort of month, 6 weeks in terms of winning feature races too, has Pierre in his second season of training. He's had 6 wins through June, 8 placings. Top 3 rate there of just on 30-odd% from his 46 runners, and he's got some really nice up-and-coming horses, Paul. When we spoke to him in regards to a bit of ammunition to fire towards the back end of the season, he didn't say he didn't, but I think there's still a couple that we're yet to see.
Yeah, I think there is. And look, Carrying Chair, I think, is probably his best chance on that page for the races on Wednesday night. Supreme Agility went well at his last start. Team Happy I Can has drawn wide, but I think he'll go forward. But I thought Carrying Chair was a really good chance. I
thought I Can's run was pretty good last time out. He was a little bit further back than I thought he might have been last time out, and was able to make up good ground over the final stages.
Yeah. Don't you reckon if you get sick of training horses, you make a good real estate agent with that photo?
He probably would.
Yeah. As opposed to Francis, who's all smiles, and very similar records, Paul, between the two of them over June.
Yeah, exactly. And look, he's had the same amount of runners. They both had 46 runners. Now, if we look at his horses, look, I think Packing Hermod looks a really big chance. He's a first starter. Almighty Kick's a first starter as well. Co-partner Prance, of course, as well. So he's got those 2, Gallant Waking Hammeron. So he's got some good chances as well.
Hammeron's got Hugh Bowman on board and Almighty Kick making his debut. We probably need to improve a little bit off his recent trials, but these are some of the deep fields, so we know they go particularly well here.
They do indeed. So at the moment it is Pierre 65, Francis Loy 63 with 6 meetings to go. With the Master versus the Apprentice in the battle of the Trainers' Premiership, it is going to go right down to the wire. Happy Valley is meeting number 83-9 on the C course, and we get underway at 20 minutes to 7. The 2 races in focus on the show. Race number 7, Class 2 over the 1200, and the Class 3 over the 1200, race number 9. There is a scratching in race number 7. Colourful Emperor has come out. He was due to jump from barrier number 2. At the top of the book, Superb Capitalist is looking for 3 in a row. He has an extra £9 though than his last start win. Co-partner Prance, he's won his last 5 in a row, including a debut victory in Class 2 at Sha Tin last time. All his wins have been over 1,000. Visor off, Shadow Roll goes on. Gummy Gummies plays 2 from 4 course and distance. Harmony and Blessed have plenty of pace. Now, co-partner Ambition was lame after racing on the 13th of March, so we haven't seen him since then. He's had 1 trial. And he races well first up. Sing Dragon reverts back to the turf. Dream Winner. He was lame right 4 on the 25th of January. He's had some arthroscopic surgery for a bone fragment, so he returns, and Reward Smile races well over the 1,200 metres around Happy Valley, Paul. And despite the fact Colourful Emperor comes out of the race, does that change much as far as the pace goes?
It did a little bit. I thought it with Colourful Emperor, and it might be just a little bit faster. So they just might bring it back a little notch now that he's come out of the race. So more on the good side. But Superb Capitalist from an inside draw should lead co-partner Prance. Harmony and Bless is drawn wide, but he'll go forward. Sing Dragon, what do they do with him? I think they'll have to go forward from a wide draw. Dream Winner will look for some cover. Gummy Gummy should get a nice run. Co-partner Ambition will get a nice run. And then the 2 at the back, well, I think they'll get their opportunities in the small field.
More from the boys shortly. Co-partner Prance, he's got the most impressive looking picket fence in all of Sha Tin. He's looking to add another win. Zach Purton on his thoughts on co-partner Prance. Zach aiming for 6 in a row this week. You as well as anyone must know how hard that is to win 6 in a row in Hong Kong.
It's hard to win any race, let alone putting a couple together, and he's done a really good job to put a series of wins together, but you know, it continually gets harder. You go up in the handicaps and against stronger opposition, but you know, he's been up for the task every time, so hopefully he is again.
With every win, does he mature more mentally as well?
He does seem to get a little bit better. He's more relaxed through the running of a race now. He was very keen to start with, but he's learnt just to drop his head and cruise along, and if anything, he gives the impression that he might be looking for a little bit further next season.
You've got barrier number 3, so finally a decent draw too.
Yeah, there's a little bit of speed in it, so he should just get out the gates, get himself into a nice spot, and you know, hopefully they roll along and that'll help him.
Back to last Sunday quickly, Ruby Lot, that was some win late in the day.
Yeah, I think the rain coming, just softening the track a little bit, played into our hands, and then he got a genuine speed. They really rolled along, so that helped as well, but he had a lot of ground to make up, and he did a really good job, and you know, I think it bodes well for next season that he run through the line very strong, so hopefully he can get over a bit more ground.
He's been unstoppable, Tom. A co-partner Prance, can that continue for him?
I definitely think it can, Mark. He carried the 120 last time out, so he's got more weight to carry here this time round, a further 8 pounds. But when he was challenged, I thought he found plenty late to hold out a seasoned horse in Duke Wah, who was better again last time out, and it was a good win from a low draw. I'd expect him, Paul, to be just stalking the pace somewhere, and I think he'll be too tough for them again.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's been a revelation, as you say. Look, he has carried 135 and won before, top of Class 4. He's now obviously up into Class 2. But, you know, some of the horses can't carry weight. They just physically can't. He can. So I'm not worried about the weight.
All right, we'll go straight to the break for the end of part 1 for Racing to Win, seeing his co-partner Prance. Paul, on to some of the opposition. This horse is racing well too. Superb Capitalist. He's been back to the trial. He won that too, but he also has to carry much more weight. We've got Harmony and Blessed, Gummy Gummy and Seasons Wit in this race too.
Yeah, he carries 132 compared to co-partner Prance's 128. Look, he's going to get his own way in front. He's drawn nicely in barrier 1. He's not going to have to work to get there. He is a horse who's in really good form at the moment. I think he's the biggest danger.
Is there a chance, though, that co-partner Prance could cross him? Because in this race here, he wasn't the quickest out. He's drawn barrier 1. Co-partner Prance has drawn barrier 3. If he was just that half a length slow like he was last time out, could that be a sort of disadvantage to him?
It could if that does happen, but the thing is that Zach won't want to get into a speed battle. That's one thing for sure. So if he does cross him, then maybe he gets the drop on him. You know, co-partner Prance hasn't really led, that's the only thing. And if that does happen, then what Harmony and Bless could come and put pressure on.
I'm not saying he necessarily has to lead, but if he just misses it, then he gets down to the rail first and then he's sort of pocketed away.
Yeah, it's possible. Yep.
All right, so there's some permutations around the starts. Paul, co-partner Ambition, he's a 4-time course and distance winner. He's had a lot of luck with the draws this season as opposed to last, and he's been able to capitalise on that. Yeah,
he's drawn nicely in barrier number 4. Look, he is a horse that has been slightly slower in the past, so there is. I think he'll get a good run, but I haven't got him in the end. I just wonder about him in this race.
Yeah, I think this might be a little rich for him here, co-partner Ambition. He held his ground last time out. He's had a quiet barrier trial on the all-weather here at Sha Tin. He's drawn barrier 4 with Matthew Pooney's first up for 105 days too.
Yeah, so a couple of pounds off him with that claim for Matthew Poon. This horse, Tom, Dream Winner, set the scene on fire when he kicked off his racing career. Then unfortunately for him, he went up in grade and he's just struggled.
He really has struggled, hasn't he? He's had a few issues. He's had knee surgery to remove a bone fragment, so that's kept him off the scene for 174 days. He's had this trial up at Chungfar. He's had 3 trials in total since his last start. He jumped a little bit awkwardly in this trial as well, but was able to rally through late and win. It was about this time last season, Paul, 361 days ago that he last won. Yeah,
he won his first 3 starts over the 1,000 metres. Look, he went from 76 up to 85. He's still higher than that 76 rating at 81, so I want to see him come down a bit.
And that is Dream Winner. Sing Dragon, Paul, all of his form in Hong Kong has been on the all-weather so far, but he has won on the turf prior to arriving in Australia.
He has, but in Hong Kong, he just seems like he's a lot better on this all-weather. I mean, his last start on the turf. He was beaten it here at Happy Valley off a rating of 64. He's now got a race back on the turf off a rating of 83 from a wide draw. So I've left him out.
Yeah, I've left him out as well. With Mark Newnham's stables going nicely at the moment, a win and a placing at the weekend. Karras rides. Trial looked good off the front there, but it just seems to grow another leg when it comes to the dirt.
He was in an interview with Zach in the replay. Tom, what about Reward Smile in this race? Because he gets in lightweight, good record over the 1200.
He boxed on, I thought, relatively well wider last time out behind co-partner Prance. He's £8 better off with him, Paul, but it's been coming up a year since he's won as well. He's run the odd decent race, but early on looked good for him. He just hasn't quite gone on with it.
Yeah, he hasn't. He'll strip fitter, and he only has to carry 120, so that's one thing in his favour. I'm going to include him just on a minor line, very minor line for Reward Smile, because I think he will get the race run to suit.
Well, we know two that are in, Paul, co-partner Prance and Reward Smile. What is the makeup of the top four?
Yeah, so I got co-partner Prance to win again. I'm going to put Superb Capitalist as the danger. Gummy's been running some pretty good races. He's been pretty consistent. He was beaten favourite 2 starts ago here at Happy Valley as well. He goes in for third and Reward Smile for fourth. So 3, 1, 5, 10.
Yeah, I think he can win again. It can co-partner Prance at number 3 to make it 6 wins for the season for Zach Purton and Francis Loy. So he's definitely on the top. A strong effort last time out. 8 extra pounds to shoulder here, but I think there's only really one main opposition to him, and that is Superb Capitalist, who just wasn't the quickest out last time out. He did jump better in a recent barrier trial to win, but we've seen at Happy Valley this season he's been a little bit slow out of the gates in a couple of runs now. Dream Winner goes in. I'll throw him in first up, and Gubby has been racing well, and he was able to make some late ground behind co-partner Prance last time out. He's £8 better off with him. 3, 1, 9 and 5.
That is the highest grade race of the night, race number 7, good quality Class 2 event. We take a break here on Racing to Win, back to preview the last, also the best bets and the last run reminder right after this. Welcome back to Racing to Win. We're previewing the third last meeting of the season at Happy Valley, so there's not too many opportunities to get to the beer garden before the mid-season break or the mid-year break before we kick it all off again in early September. But we need to get a few more last run reminders before then. Tinkerbell, what do you come up with for us this week?
Yeah, I've got Fairy Horse, and look, this horse here has really caught the eye at his last start. He got really well back. We can see that here now. He drew wide, so he's got back. He's in those blue colours which are highlighted there at the back, but it went all the way there, and they didn't go overly quick in this race. It was, pretty much on standard, as you can see by the time there. He's still last there as they came around the bend. And once he got out into the clear air about now and balanced himself up, he really hit the line strongly. So it's a horse, definitely one to follow. Fairy Horse, I think he's a big chance once again, and he should be a decent price with that race. So I thought he's going well at the moment. He's only had the limited starts. It was only his 5th start.
He's been played by some bad barriers too in that short career.
10, 10, 9. He had one where he drew 4, but that was at Sharts Inn, and then drew 14. So, yeah, he hasn't had any rub of the green.
He's not the only last run reminder. You've got plenty more on the website you can find too.
Yeah, there's about 15 up there as well, just to keep an eye on. There's normally one or two per race to have a look at. And the strike rate's been pretty good recently, so if you do get to that page and have a look, and see if there's one there that you fancy.
But the pick of them are race 4, number 8, Fairy Horse, the website hkjc.com. Of course, you'll find the last run reminder and everything you need to know about racing in Hong Kong right there. Race number 9 gets underway at 10 to 11 local time in Kaholo Angel. Extra couple of pounds on his back, but a better draw for him. Happy Fat Cat, he was a winner last time. Extra £7 for that last start win. Americ Despexo's a 4-time course and distance winner. O-Liner has the blinkers off and has joined the stable of Jamie Richards. I Am the Boss has had 2 trials since his last run. Excellent Piers. Race is okay, second up. He was disappointing when resuming. California Deeply stays at 1200 again. Elegant Life, he makes his Hong Kong debut. Ka Ying Cheers racing well, as is Kairos Dragon. King Excellente's race wide and he's only 2 starts in Class 3. Unfortunately for him, he's drawn barrier number 12, and Telecom Speed is 1 point off a class drop, and his best form is down in Class 4. Ka Ying Cheer, Paul, the leader over Kaholo Angel. We know Happy Fat Cat has a speed too, and poor old Telecom Speed, he's seen plenty of the outside rail lately.
He has, and look, I think he's going to be wide once again. Happy Fat Cat hasn't led in his last 3 or 4 starts. He used to lead on his air, but he's actually been running well, just sitting off the pace. So From barrier 1, I thought Kaying Chair could lead. Now, Kaholo Angel, the last 2 starts has drawn wide and gone back both times. Prior to that, used to race right on the pace. So from barrier 3 with a big weight, I'm pretty sure they'll want to try and get an easy run as possible for him. Excellent Pierre should get a nice run. Elegant Life is the debutant. I think he'll sit midfield. He's 11.29 pounds on his debut run. And Kairos Dragon, I'm the Boss, I think will go back from a wide draw.
I Am the Boss, trained by Francis Loy. His arch nemesis for the Trainers' Premiership is Pierre Rung, and he has Kaying Chair to be partnered by Alexi Bedell. Alexi, you ride Kaying Chair again this week. He's racing so well, and surely he's due a win, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been doing very well. Last time was obviously a wide gate, so I ended up in a pretty good spot, but still, from the widest gate, it was not easy to win.
You gave him every chance from that wide draw. It was a perfect ride from barrier 10.
Yeah, thank you. But the horse got good early speed, which is very useful, and after that he stayed on very well. So I think he's ready to win, and he's got a better draw this time. So hopefully we got this one right.
He's been tried in front before. You rode him with cover last time. Do you feel he's a better horse following horses?
That's a good question. I don't know. I assume that all depend on the pace. I think he's pretty versatile, so he can do whatever you want based on the situation.
You were beaten by California Touch, who is in form, so the form around the race is good. And from barrier number 1, you'll just jump out and see how things unfold?
Yeah, definitely. It looks pretty straightforward, you know. If the horse keeps his form, he should be there.
He's going well, Paul, so close to that win.
Yeah, look, I think he can win this race. I think Pierre will go home happy here. Look, he's only won the 1, but he's been so consistent in all his other races. There's only one race where he hasn't finished further back than 4th. And the 2nd and 3rd in his last 2 starts have both been on good to yielding tracks where he's drawn 8 and 10. I think we'll get a better track tomorrow, and I think that'll suit him as well.
And he was just held up at the early part of the straight there as well, so that just might have cost him a little bit of momentum and could have been ultimately quite costly with only being a neck margin in the end.
Absolutely, and California Touch, not in the race, has been in really good form. California Deeply, Tom, here he is again. 1,200 metres, you pleased to see that?
Oh, totally rapt to see it again with him. I can't believe they only tried 1,400 metres with him once, and here he is. But he's got Zach Purton riding off a rating of 64. He last one off 69, but that's a long time ago, off 560 odd days. He closed really strongly here over the final stages, but from the draw, I just thought maybe a couple of alternatives here, Paul.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've been running him closer as well. So if they do, I just think he could be trapped wide from barrier 10.
Happy Fat Cat's had a great season. He's a 4-time winner. This is the most recent of them, and he was unfancied. He was 48 to 1 in the market. Telecom Speed is wide, as is King Excellente. And running on Paul Kairos Dragon, he's in similar form to that of Kaying Chair. Lightweight and racing well, but he gets back generally. And you don't mind the grey Kaholo Angel from a better draw, but he's got 135 pounds.
That's the key. Look, he's been placed carrying 133 in the past, so he is a horse that can carry it. He got that perfect run through on the inside, but he's going to be a lot closer in the run. So I am going to include him, and I am going to include Kairos Dragon because I like the way he hit the line.
Yeah, he's got a really good turn of foot. He's 4 pounds better off with Happy Fat Cat in the race as well, and he really closed strongly between runners. If you'd probably told me at the beginning of the season Happy Fat Cat was going to win 4, I probably would have laughed at you.
Yeah, he's had a few homes, hasn't he?
He has,
Happy
yeah.
Fat Cat, now with Cody Moe, but
Bit of a stray.
Bit of a stray. There's a few stray cats around the Shartin stables too. He's been one of them. Elegant Life. Now, he has had, Tom, 4 trials. His all-weather ones have been very poor. His turf one was better up at Chung Fa.
I'm not totally convinced. He was with Brad Widdup prior to arriving here. His name was Like a Bomb, and it's always a bit of a concerning when he's put up a poor performance as recognised by the stewards from his trial at the end of May, the 31st of May. He's got heavy track form around Kembla and also Gosford. It's a no from me.
And a no from me. Yeah, I didn't include him either. I'm happy to watch him on his debut run here in Hong Kong, 11.29 pounds. Look, I haven't been taken with his trials, to be honest.
We will leave Elegant Life for another day, but who are we not leaving for another day, Paul?
Kaying Chair, I think from barrier 1, he's definitely going to get his opportunity. So with a better draw and a better track, I think this looks ideal for him. The last 2 times he's drawn wide on sort of a good to yielding track. So now that he's on back to a good track, which we're predicting from barrier 1, I think he can easily win it. Kaholo Angel, now he's drawn nicely in barrier 3. He's drawn 11 and 12 at his last couple. And prior to that, he did win here at Happy Valley. He's the other one that's sort of hit those good to yielding tracks. So getting back onto a good track from a low draw, I think he's going to get his opportunity. I went Carrying Chair over Kaholo Angel just because of the weight difference. Carrying Chair has to carry a lot less weight. He carries 122 versus 135. So 9 to beat 1, the 3, America Spexo in there. He's sort of getting up towards a career high rating, but still ran third at his last start off this rating. So I think he's more than capable, and he has won twice this season. And Kairos Drag hitting the line strongly, 9, 1, 3 and 10.
I can't argue with any of those 4 selections in that order as well. So 9 on top for me. That is Carrying Chair, who should get the perfect run from barrier number 1. Just slightly held up at the early part of the straight there behind California Touch, but kept coming late over the final stages, did Carrying Chair. Kaholo Angel had that nice run through on the fence. He'll be a lot closer from a low draw. He's had barriers 12 and 11 his last couple. He's been apprentice ridden a few starts this season as well. I think he can get another win on the board for Casper Founds. America Spexo was a fair way back last time out, but again ran on between runners, so he's I think a must include here. And Kairos Dragon with his good turn of foot goes in for Karis Teton and Douglas White. Ultimately ended up leaving California Deeply out. 9, 1, 3 and 10.
It's a rare show. The boys are in agreement for race number 9. They're playing friendly. That doesn't really happen, but you can find race-by-race analysis on the website too for all of the 9 races with Paul's selections, hkjc.com. Click on audio and video. You won't be going the same best bet, Paul, so we'll start with yours.
Well, you can't go wrong with mine. That's race 5, number 5. Can't go wrong. He's been so consistent, the son of Pierre and Canto, and look, he got into the clear here, and look, he wasn't good enough on the day, but it was another good second from him. I think this is a lot easier race. There's sort of question marks over a lot of the runners in this, and these 2 went clear, and he was making ground on the line. So I think he can win race 5, pair of 5s, can't go wrong. And we'll do a long shot. He's a horse who's 1 second up in the past. Is Splendid Living. He's had that 1 run. Coming back into this race, I think he can win from barrier 1 at a big price. Race 8, number 1, Splendid Living. And we'll do the play earlier on in race 3. Comet Splendido won last start with Shaw Joyful and Patch of Time, who hit the line strongly at his last start.
Best for me is Helene Warrior. Now, he's only going up £4 for this last start victory as Helene Warrior. Hasn't taken him long to settle in. The Irish 3-year-old colt by Star Spangled Banner, and he's ridden by Lyle Hewitson once again for Danny Shub. Danny closing in on a season milestone. He's up to 48, so he's getting very close to 50. As are a number of trainers this season, but put the race well and truly beyond doubt in the straight after stalking the pace, and won nicely here over Zoom Boom as a favourite. So I think he can win again with an only extra £4 to shoulder. Helene Warrior drawn barrier number 6. The value, we're going back it again with Great Achiever. He's a son of Savabeel, stepping to 1,650 metres. He was slightly held up last time out, and once he got clear, he made some ground. So we're hoping the extra trip will serve him well. He'll be back in the field, no doubt, from that widest draw of barrier 10. And Supreme Agility, Helene Warrior. The forecast there, better from Supreme Agility last time out. He's worth following, but he's dropped weight, so he's not the biggest horse going around.
I'm going to take Tom on and pinch one of Paul's best bets from previous weeks and go Chain of Gold. So another best bet for Karis Teton on the show. £5 less, so 115 on his back. He really does get his opportunity. Amazing runs first up from a bleed. He's had 2 trials up at Chung Fa, and he ran through the line really well in the second of them over the 1,000 metres. And because of that, we're going to make the play race 2 with the last start winner at the perfect match. Amazing Run the Big Horse and Roaring BB, as easy as 1, 2, 3 in a QP. Now, the diary is very important. These are correct these days. There is no weekend racing. We go to Sha Tin on Monday for Reunification Day, and 3:30 Trackside Live, and then to Happy Valley on Thursday night. It's a quick turnaround back to Sha Tin on Saturday, Tom, so it's all over the place.
It is, public holiday Monday, and then, of course, Happy Valley Thursday, so plenty of racing still to come with the back end of the season, Paul.
Yeah, definitely, and France has got 11 in, Pierre's got 10 in coming up on Monday, so the gloves are off.
They will. They'll have horses all over the place as they go head-to-head in the Trainers' Premiership. Big thanks to Tom and Paul and to you. That has been Racing to Win. We'll see you at Happy Valley for the first at 6:40.